Today is the feast day of St. Climacus. What does St. Climacus teach us? Whoever was in the chapel, in the divine ascent, the letter. It doesn't matter what happens, we need to keep climbing. We also said that sometimes we fall. What happens when we fall as children? We hurt ourselves, right? When we fall, we scrape our knee and we start to cry. And do we sit there and cry forever? What do we have to do? We have to get going because we're going somewhere. We fall, we scrape ourselves, we cry a little bit. Is it okay to cry, or should we be brave and not cry at all? It's okay to cry, right? So when we fall, we hurt ourselves, we cry a little bit, and then we get up and we keep going. So St. John Climacus is teaching that to us. He says that from the earth to heaven, it's like climbing steps, like climbing a ladder. And we said that in order for us to climb a ladder, what do we have to do? We have to be able to balance ourselves, right? We need to be grabbing tightly. And Theodore said very nicely, if we want to climb a ladder, we should probably have someone holding the bottom of the ladder, right? So that it doesn't shake, which means that we need other people to help us to climb the ladder. We can't go by ourselves, right? So we need other people to help us. We need to keep our balance. We need to climb up. And the last thing that I will say, what did we say? If you climb a ladder when you are 14 years old, you're strong and agile, and then you don't climb a ladder forever, until when you are 80 years old. Can you climb a ladder when you're 80 years old? What if we talked about those older men and women who run in a marathon? How do they do? Because they do it every year, right? So age doesn't matter. What matters is consistency and practice. If I climb a ladder one time when I was 14, and then I don't climb a ladder until I'm 90 years old, I will not be able to do it. But if you climb a ladder every day, it doesn't matter how old you are, because you are consistently practicing. So what does it teach us on our faith? What do we have to do? Can we go to church once and then go back when we are 90 years old? No. We need to go to church and practice our faith consistently. From when? When do we start climbing to heaven? When do we go to heaven? We said, exactly. We start going to heaven when we are baptized. We don't have to wait until we die so we can go to heaven. We start going to heaven, climbing the ladders from the day of our baptism. So, if you climb one ladder, one step, and then you come down and you say, okay, I'll climb when I'm older. Would you be able to get there? No, because consistently you need to climb one, second, third, fourth, and then sometimes we fall. And I asked in the chapel, when we are on the very top of those steps, what happens? How do we feel? Scared, right? Shaky, right? We can't really, we look down and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna fall down. So what is the most dangerous step? The first one or the last one? The last one. So when we climb, we need to do it consistently, and we need to practice. We need to practice, because as we go higher and higher, it gets more dangerous and becomes more difficult. So when you're on the first step, it's fine. Second, third, if you're on the 20th step, it's very difficult. So if you fall from there, if you fall from the first step, what happens? If you fall from the 20th step, what happens? You can really break yourself up, right? So should we stay on the first step and not climb on the 20th? Just be careful and be strong.